Read, pick up a book and read. Open up the cover and read. Read all the words inside. Read, travel to a place and read. Open up your mind and read. Read, read, everyone read. Read, pick up a book and read. Open up the cover and read. Read all the words inside. Read, travel to a place and read. Open up your mind and read. Read, read, everyone read. Okay, this time you have to say read. Here we go. Read, pick up a book and read. Open up the cover and read. Read all the words inside. Read, travel to a place and read. Open up your mind and read. Read, read, everyone read. Read, 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 everyone read.
Boys and girls, my name is Jenny Bender and I am a St. Tammany Parish ESL teacher. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I bet you've seen a lot of when you've been playing outside. We're going to use a book to help us learn more about this topic. Can you guess what it is? It's flowers. Now, just from looking at the cover of this book, can you tell what the genre of this story is? What kind of book do you think it will be? That's right, it's going to be nonfiction. So it's going to teach us facts about flowers. Now, before we get into the story, I'd like to go over some words with you that you're going to see as we read. This is the first word. Do you know what that word says? Blossom. Very good. And a blossom is the showy bloom or flower of a plant. And in this story, it's used as a noun. Sometimes we can use it as a verb and say, the flower will blossom in the spring. But in this story, we're talking about the part of the plant that is the blossom. So you can see right here, a cherry blossom and an apple blossom. That's the flowering part of the plant. So what is this word, boys and girls? Very good, blossom. The next word we're going to look at is, very good, pollen. And pollen is the fine, usually yellow dust produced by a plant. Do you know what that word produced means? That's right, it means it's made by the plant. It can be carried to other plants by the wind or insects to make seeds. You can see right here, this bee is carrying some pollen with him to another plant. And over here, this plant has lots of pollen coming off of it. You can see that fine yellow dust that it is making. Sometimes that's what makes us sneeze when we're outside playing. And the last word we're going to look at is, very good, this word is nectar. And nectar is the sweet liquid that is produced or made by plants and used by bees in making honey. So you can see that bee getting the nectar from the plant. And look at that nectar dripping from that plant down at the bottom. Right? So as we read, I want you to listen for those three words: blossom, nectar, and pollen. Green plants produce showy parts that we call flowers or blossoms. Flower blossoms can be any color of the rainbow. They can even be the color of chocolate in some kinds of flowers. The blossoms of grasses, bushes, and trees are flowers. But the word flower also refers to the many soft green flowering plants that are neither grasses, bushes, nor trees. These plants, called wildflowers and garden flowers, include roses, lilies, trilliums, tulips, orchids, and thousands of others. Flower parts. A flower plant has many parts. The flower blossom itself helps the plant to make new plants. A blossom is made up of many parts, each with a special job. Other parts of a flower plant also have special jobs. The roots anchor the plant, soak up water, and take up plant food from the ground. The flower stem supports the blossom and transports water and food. What do you think that word transports means? It means it moves the food and water through the plant. The stem makes leaves too. Leaves help make plant food. Every part has a different job to do. Insects and flowers. Insects such as butterflies and bees often visit flowers to drink nectar. Nectar is a sweet liquid made by the plant. While the insect sips nectar, its body picks up tiny grains of pollen. As the insect, perhaps a bee, moves from one part of the blossom to another, it leaves pollen in different parts of the blossom. Pollen grains are very important. They help make seeds from which new flower plants will sprout. And this is a bee with pollen grains. You can see the pollen all over his body. New flowers. Flower seeds grow inside a berry or some other type of fruit. The fruit and its seeds grow on the flower stem after the flower blossom dies. When the fruit is ripe, the seeds tumble out. If a seed finds a place to grow, a new flower plant is started. Some flower plants live only one season. Others, like lady slippers and irises, live for many years. Each spring, their roots send up new stems, leaves, and blossoms. This is a milkweed seed. This is a white water lily in a Florida pond, and these are gold poppies and owl clover in the Arizona desert. Flower homes. True wildflowers grow in almost every corner of the world. Most of them grow from soil. A few wildflowers in warm countries attach themselves to tree branches. Others, such as water lilies, grow in ponds and lakes. Flowers live in hot, steamy jungles. They even live on cold, windy mountains where trees cannot grow. They bloom in forests, grasslands, marshes, and deserts. They grow alongside roads and in the treeless far north. Which kinds or species of wildflowers grow in a place depend upon the weather, soil, wind, and water. I'll bet sometimes when you're riding in the car or riding your bicycle, you might see flowers growing just on the side of the road. Flower families. Flowers in a family or group are not the same, but they share many of the same features. One of the biggest groups of flowers is the orchid family. This family has more than 20,000 different species. Different orchids look like bees, scoops, sacks, or lady slippers. Almost all orchids, however, have remarkably small seeds and flowers with 6 petals. Orchid blossoms may be as tiny as 1/2 inch across or as large as saucers. Wildflowers through the seasons. Each species of wildflower usually blooms once each year. Some kinds bloom in spring. Others show their blossoms in summer or fall. In warm places such as Florida and Mexico, some wildflowers blossom during winter months. The forest is a wonderful place to find spring wildflowers, including bloodroot and trillium. By summer, the forest is too leafy and dark for most wildflowers. Wildflowers like sunlight, and most summer and autumn wildflowers grow in open places. Garden flowers. The first flower plants grew wild. Later, people began to take flowers from the wild and replant them around their homes. Scientists have worked with flower seeds to make changes in the way flowers grow. Today, there are hundreds of kinds of garden flowers. Some still look like their wild cousins, but many are bigger and brighter. Some of the gardeners' favorite flowers are daffodils, tulips, roses, and irises. Flowers and people. Everyone loves flowers. Many flowers are sweet-smelling as well as beautiful. The parts of some flower plants are important for use as medicines, tea, and decorations. People raise garden flowers by planting them as seeds or small plants. Wildflowers grow freely without any help. Some wildflowers are hard to find. As wild places are destroyed, the flowers disappear. A few kinds of wildflowers are rare because people have taken the plants. Wildflowers should be enjoyed where they grow best, in the wild. All right, boys and girls, let's go over the words that we learned at the beginning. You remember this word? That's right, nectar. That's that sweet liquid that the plants produced and the bees used to make their honey. Pollen, very good. That's that dust that comes off the plant, but we learned that it is very important for starting new plants. And blossom. We saw lots of blossoms in this story, right? That's the flower part of the plant. Well, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed our story today, and I hope when you're outside that you'll look around for those flowers and those blossoms, and maybe even some bees that are enjoying the nectar from the flower. I'll see you next time, and thanks again for joining me. Bye.
Welcome to the Viola Coe Museum. Here you can dive into the past of the southeastern Louisiana community. Although present life all around the world is modern and advanced, life was drastically different in the early 1900s. Formal education was scattered in this area until this building was constructed as a schoolhouse for local residents.
The building's original purpose was to be a schoolhouse for all the children of the area. The land and the materials were donated by John Davis. John Davis had a lumber industry, and he was also a large property owner in Lacombe at that time. It was built and completed in 1912.
The building was used as a school well into the post-World War II era. The site was officially labeled as the first schoolhouse in Lacombe in 1976 during the country's Bicentennial Commission. Once the building was utilized as a heritage site, it was entered into the National Historic Register as of 1990. The museum is divided into 5 major sections. This area documents the industry that Lacombe thrived on. The abundant resources, including lumber and bricks, allowed the local people to work and produce products for the growing population of the area.
Life was simple. Everything was completed by hand, such as sewing and washing clothes. Even record players were cranked by hand.
It's a lot of the same amenities that we have today, except that it was manual. You had to do all of your work by yourself and with your manpower.
Living in the coastal swamps of Lacombe, most people had swamping boots, which prevented them from being bitten by water moccasins as they gathered supplies for their daily lives. Even though the population was small in the village of Lacombe, it didn't stop the local residents from wanting to serve their country.
One of the original pieces of the museum when it was first built in 1976 was what we called the Hall of Heroes. And it basically has Lacombe veterans from every war from the United States.
The exhibit includes items from uniforms and modeled planes to old gear and equipment. The names of these local heroes are listed on plaques, which document the wars each individual served in.
The rich history of Viola Coe includes many who served in the military, but long before colonists arrived here, the Choctaw Indians called this place home.
Abbe Adrien Roquette was a Catholic missionary from New Orleans who devoted his time to the Native Americans on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. Respect for Abbe Roquette grew among the Choctaw as he preached Catholicism to them. The Choctaw began calling him Chataima, meaning like Choctaw, for they respected Roquette as one of their own.
The history of this area is encased inside the walls of the oldest wooden schoolhouse still standing in St. Tammany Parish, which preserves our past and presents it to future generations.
We're growing. It's a fun little interactive museum, and it takes you on the journey in the past and tells about the culture of the area.
It's a way that we can share the knowledge that we have from those who came before us, and we can show how people live, the reason we have what we have here today.
You have an idea when you walk in the door that the person greeting you is going to be family. And this is multi-generational family atmosphere in here. And they're going to give you a true passion story of what Lacombe is and what it was.
Thank you for joining us on this tour. Be sure to stop by the museum and explore the rich history of Viola Coe.
Ethel, please connect me to the mayor.
You made it to day 5 of our poetry writing, and today you get to write a rhyming poem. That's probably the poetry you're most familiar with. For example, the poem, Now We Are 6. When I was 1, I had just begun. When I was 2, I was nearly new. When I was 3, I was hardly me. When I was 4, I was not much more. When I was 5, I was just alive. But now I'm 6, I'm as clever, so I think I'll be 6 forever and ever. Do you know who wrote that? A.A. Milne, the author of Winnie the Pooh. Are you ready to write your own rhyming poem? Great, let's get started. There are many ways you can write a rhyming poem. Today we're going to follow the pattern A, B, B, C, C, D, D. So I'm going to write that just so I can remember. A. That means the first 2 lines will rhyme. B, which means lines 3 and 4 will rhyme. C, lines 5 and 6 will rhyme. D, lines 7 and 8 will rhyme. I'm going to stick with the theme that we wrote about yesterday, spring. So I'm going to write 2 lines that rhyme describing spring. So my first sentence or line ends with the word street. So my second line also needs to rhyme with the word street. This is the AA pattern. The first line ends with street. The second line, meet. Street, meet. These words rhyme. Walking the dogs along the street, greeting everyone we meet. My next 2 lines will follow the B pattern. That means they will rhyme together, but not with street or meet. So my new line ends with the word honeysuckle. So my next line also needs to rhyme with honeysuckles. Okay, so now I have my BB pattern. Honeysuckles, knuckles. I smell the honeysuckles and pick them, clutching them in my knuckles. I am now going to write a new line following the C pattern. So the next two lines will rhyme, just like street meat rhymed, honeysuckles knuckles rhyme. Now my next two lines will rhyme. Birds, herds, these words rhyme. Bayous filled with birds, alligators come out in herds. Now I'm going to do my last line of the poem, and these two lines will rhyme. This line ended with the word year, so my next line needs to rhyme with year. I rhymed year with cheer. Now let's check that I followed the pattern. Street, meat. Honeysuckles, knuckles. Birds, herds. Year, cheer. I have followed the pattern A, A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Walking the dogs along the street, greeting everyone we meet. I smell the honeysuckles and pick them, clutching them in my knuckles. Bayous filled with birds, alligators come out in herds. April is a lively time of year, a month which gives me so much cheer. Bye guys, I hope you had a great time this week learning about all kinds of poetry and writing your rhyming poem. I'll see you next week. Bye!
Hello students, I'm Coach Gonzalez here today. Very excited to show you this workout that you can do any day, anytime, with anyone in your household while we're home staying safe. So you can do this workout in a pattern form by counting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Another pattern could be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Or you could do by fours, 4, 8, 12, 16. So any type of pattern you choose, something you could do, go in your family and say, hey, can you create a pattern for my workout? Maybe we can do this together. Just something fun that you can do at home with everyone that's living with you. Okay, you could also do it timed. So you could do each exercise for 30 seconds, or you could do each exercise for a minute, each exercise for 1 minute, 30 seconds. You can start with 30 seconds, and then if you feel that you've got more, the next time, do each exercise for a minute. If you do this little exercise routine in the morning when you wake up, and you can do it again at lunch, and then at dinner, as many times as you want. Just something fun you can do at home by yourself or with the people in your household. So I have 10 exercises here, and I'm going to demonstrate the 10 exercises for you. And let's go ahead and do the first number in the patterns. We'll just do 5 of each exercise, and then I'll leave you to do this exercise at home by yourself. Okay, so the first exercise is walk out push-ups. So you're going to stand, hands up over your head. You're going to bend down, put your arms out, walk your hands out till your body is completely in a straight line with your butt not up in the air. And you're going to push your chest down to the ground, push it up, and then walk your hands back in. Hands all the way up. So we're going to go ahead and do 5 of those. Here's number 2. Walk the hands back in. Arms up, hands down. There's number 3. Woo, how are we feeling? Here's number 4. Yay, I know. I love to exercise. I could do this all day long. It's very good for your body. Okay, that was exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is burpees. You're going to bend down, squat down, put your hands on the ground, go to a push-up position, bring your feet back behind you and jump up. So let me just show you. Squat down, push your feet out, chest down to the ground, push yourself up, push your feet in, and jump up. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, exercise number 3, dancing crabs. Okay, you're going to sit down, put your hands behind you with your fingertips facing toward your heels, so they're facing that way. You're going to bridge up, then you're going to kick your legs out. So, 5 of these is going to be nice and easy. So let's do 5 on each leg. That would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right. Number 4 is going to be the plank hold. All right, so obviously this one might be hard to do in the patterns. So since you're not doing it timed, to make it interesting, you could do plank taps, which you're going to bring your right hand to your left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. Try to keep your body completely still. Okay? All right. Let's make sure we did 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! I know y'all feeling great, right? Okay, now we have squats. So, proper squat. You want to make sure your knees don't go over your toes. You want to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. So, you're going to sit back, and the knees are at 90. The knees are not over the toes. You're pushing back and up. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, number 6, jumping jacks. All right, so you stand with your feet together, hands by your side. You're going to take your feet hip width apart and bring your hands up over your head. So feet out, hands up, feet together, hands down. We're going to do 5 of those. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Y'all are doing an excellent job out there. Okay, then we have hand release push-ups. So these are a little bit easier since you get a break. Your arms get a little break in the middle of it. Now, if you cannot do a push-up on your toes, you can come to your knees. So here, you're up on your toes. Your hands are right underneath your shoulders. You're going to go down to the ground, lift your hands and your feet off the ground, and then push yourself back up. Okay? There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! Take a nap. Now, let's finish this workout. We got this. All right. We are resilient. That means we are tough. We are strong. In case y'all didn't know that word, you just learned a new word of the day. Resilient. Tough, strong. We got this. All right. Hand release push-ups is followed by plank jacks. So you go in the plank position and just your legs are doing the jumping jack movement. It's real simple. Hands on the ground. Your feet are going out and in, out and in. You want to make sure your feet are your hands are underneath your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! We're almost there. All right, then we have mountain climbers. So we're going to pretend like we're climbing up a big mountain to get to the end of the workout. Mountain climbers, our knees are going into the chest while you're in the plank position. So plank position, knees into the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try that one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and last but not least is high kicks. So we're going to finish this off with one of my favorite exercises, a good stretch. High kicks. Now I'm sure some of you can kick up over your head. Go for it. So let's practice 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure when you're doing these high kicks that you're not bringing your head down. You're bringing your foot up to meet your hand, not your hand to meet your foot, because it's a high kick. You want to get a good stretch in the back of the leg. Now, I know I went kind of fast because for time purposes, I only have about 10 minutes to show you this little quick workout that you can do at home, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you'll take advantage of these exercises at home, because exercise is good for your body. Your heart is the biggest muscle in your body, and you need to work it. You have to get that heart rate up. But what I mean by that is you need to be a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit out of breath when you're exercising. All right, toodaloo students, see you next time. Woohoo!
Hi everyone, my name is Jill Gus and I am a mental health provider with St. Tammany Parish Public Schools. During our break from school, maybe you found yourself incorporating a daily walk into your routine. Today I would like to share an easy way to add a mindfulness activity to your walk. Mindfulness has been shown to increase concentration and focus, and it is a great coping skill to help your child regulate their emotions. Let's get started. The Mindfulness Walk is very simple. All you have to do is choose one of your 5 senses to focus on. For example, your sense of sight. As you walk, have your child name and describe anything that they can see outside on the walk, like birds, pine cones, or leaves. They should be very specific in their description. This activity helps you and your child focus on the present moment, which is a great way to bust anxiety. Thanks for watching and enjoy your mindfulness walk.
Hi, my name is Miss Collins and I am an STPPS kindergarten teacher. Today we are going to learn about main idea and key details in a text. The most important thing about reading is understanding, and we can use strategies to help us understand. One of the strategies is thinking about the main idea. When you think about the main idea, you ask yourself, what is the most important idea about this? So let's practice. We're going to use some pictures to help us practice at first, and then we're going to look at some stories. So I want you to look at these pictures carefully. What do they all have in common? What do you notice about all of those pictures? What do they have in common? That's right. You see all different types of fruit in the picture, don't you? What is the picture trying to tell us about fruits? What do you think it's trying to tell us about fruits? That's right. There are many different kinds of fruits. Now let's think about the details in this picture. So we see that the main idea of the picture is that there are many different types of fruits, but what are the details that would support that idea? So some of the examples could be apples, grapes, bananas, and cherries. Those would be the details about our picture. So let's look at another one. Look at those pictures carefully and tell me, what do they all have in common? What do you see? Oh, you see different ways to take care of your teeth, don't you? So what do you think it's trying to tell us about our teeth? Oh, that you can do different things to keep them healthy? What are some of those details that would support that idea? What do you notice? What do you notice right here? Oh, we can use some mouthwash to help keep our teeth clean. We can visit the dentist so that they can clean our teeth and help us take care of them. We can floss our teeth. That's really important. And we can brush our teeth. We brush our teeth every day and every night. And also eating healthy would also help us take care of those teeth. So those details, those ideas help support the main idea of there are different ways to keep your teeth healthy. Now, I have a story that I would like for you to listen to, and when I'm done reading the story, we're going to talk about the main idea and the key details from the story. Okay, so this story is called The Zoo. Many animals live at the zoo. Lions play and eat at the zoo. There are brown bears and white bears who live there too. The zoo has elephants that swing their long trunks. You may even see an ostrich's really long neck on your trip to the zoo. So I want to think about the main idea and the details from that story. And to do that, I am going to use something called a graphic organizer. That's going to help me to organize my thoughts about that story. Now, the organizer that I'm using is a little rain cloud. In the top of my rain cloud, I'm going to put my main idea, and in my raindrops, I'm going to put my key details about this story. So I'm going to do one first, and then we'll work on one together. So, I'm thinking back to my story. What was the main idea of my story? Oh, that's right, that many animals live at the zoo. So I'm going to write that right here. Many animals live at the zoo. Now I need to find some details to support that main idea. I have some pictures that I would like for us to use. Just find some details to support that. My first picture that I found was a cow. Can everybody see that little cow? Would the cow support the idea that many animals live at the zoo? No, so I don't think I'm going to put that one on my graphic organizer. What about a frog? Did we talk about a frog? No, we're not going to put him on there either. What about an ostrich? Oh yeah, I remember reading about an ostrich. I remember it said that the ostriches have long necks. So I am going to put an ostrich on one of my raindrops to show that it was a key detail in my story that helps support that idea. So let's look at another one. What is this guy? Oh, a cat. I don't remember hearing about a cat. Oh, what about this guy? What is this? An elephant. Oh, I remember hearing about an elephant. I remember hearing that in the story it said that elephants swing their long trunks. So I'm going to add this elephant to my organizer. All right, now I have one more animal. A brown bear. Do you remember hearing about a brown bear in the story? I do. I remember reading about the brown bear. So I'm going to add the brown bear. So the main idea of my story, The Zoo, was that many animals live at the zoo. And I added 3 details, the ostrich, the elephant, and the brown bear, to support that main idea. Now let's do one together. I have another story for us. This story is called Sea Animals. I like sea animals, so I'm really interested in this. Are you ready to listen to my story? All right, make sure you have your listening ears on. The ocean is filled with many different kinds of animals. There are tons of fish in many colors. You can also find seahorses and jellyfish in the ocean. Have you ever seen a dolphin? They live in the ocean too. So I want you to think about the main idea from that story that I just read to you. What do you think the main idea is? What is the most important idea from this story? What do you think it is? Oh, I think that I heard someone say that the main idea is that the ocean is filled with many different kinds of animals. That's good thinking. So we're going to put that right up here. The ocean is filled with many different kinds of animals. You were being a really good listener. All right, now we needed to find some details from that story to help support that idea. So I have some more pictures for us, and I want you to help me to decide if this detail would help support our main idea. I have a chicken or a rooster. What do you think about that? Do you think that a chicken or a rooster supports the main idea that many animals live in this ocean? No. He doesn't live in the ocean, does he? So should we put him on there? No. What about this? What is this? A seahorse. That's right. Where does a seahorse live? In the ocean. So should we add him to our graphic organizer? Yes, I think he would be a good key detail. I remember hearing about him in the story too. So we're going to put him on there. What about this guy? A penguin. Did we hear about a penguin in that story when we were reading? Did you hear about a penguin? No, neither did I. So are we going to put him on our graphic organizer? No. What about a cow? Should we put a cow on our graphic organizer? Was a cow in our story? Does a cow live in the ocean? No, so we don't want to add him on there either. He would not support the main idea that many different types of animals live in the ocean. Oh, what about this? What about a dolphin? Did we hear about a dolphin in our story? That's right, we did. And he supports the main idea of animals in the ocean. So we're going to add the dolphin to our organizer. Great job. All right. Now, what is this? Oh, I know what that is. That is a jellyfish. Did we hear about jellyfish in our story? That's right, we did. So are we going to put him on our graphic organizer? We sure are. Very good. So we have 3 details, a seahorse, a dolphin, and a jellyfish. They all support our main idea of the ocean is filled with many different kinds of animals. You guys did a really good job today helping me identify main idea and key details. I would like for you to find a text at home, any story that you have at home, and I want you to sit down with a grown-up and think about the main idea and the key details from the story that you read at home. Thank you guys for helping me out today. You really did a great job. So until next time, see you later.
It's Miss Tujo, a kindergarten teacher with St. Tammany Parish Public Schools. I'm here with you today to do another math problem of the day. Remember, when we do a math problem of the day, we're going to read a math problem and then we're going to try to solve it or find an answer to that problem. We're going to read the problem, we're going to figure out what the problem is asking, and then we're going to use that important information to help us draw that model or that drawing. Today's problem is asking us to find an unknown number using tens and some ones. Let's read our problem and see what the problem is asking us to do today. It says, I picked 14 flowers. 10 were red and the rest were blue. How many blue flowers did I pick? Well, let's think about that. What is the question that the problem is asking? That's right. The question is, how many blue flowers did I pick? Now, let's see if we can find out what information in that problem we can use to help us find the answer to that problem. I'm going to use my red and my blue marker to help me, since I know that's the colors that were in the problem. So let's look. I picked 14 flowers. Well, that's an important number right there, 14. I know that's 14 flowers all together. Now, let's see what other information we can find. 10 were red. To help me remember that, I'm going to use my red marker, and I'm going to underline that 10 were red. Now I can remember how many were red. And the rest were blue. Let's see, the rest were blue. So now we have all the information from our problem. What could we do to help us solve that problem? Let's think. Could I make something? Could I draw something? Yes, drawing a picture would be a great idea to help us with this problem. So let's see, what do I need to draw? Let's look back to our problem. I picked 14 flowers. Well, if there's 14 flowers all together, then I think I probably need to go ahead and draw 14 flowers. Can you count with me as I draw them, just to make sure that I get the right number? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 flowers. Let's count them again just to make sure we had the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are my 14 flowers. So I've done the first part of the problem. There are 14 flowers. But remember, it wants to know how many blue flowers I picked. So again, how can I figure that out? What do I need to do next? You're right. It said 10 of them were red. If I colored 10 of these flowers red, and I know the rest are blue, that'll help me figure out how many blue flowers I have. So let's get our red crayon or marker, and let's see if we can color 10 of them red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you'll notice that when I colored my flowers, I didn't color them all the way in. I just made a little bit of color so I could see. And you'll also notice that I tried to keep my flowers, my 10 flowers, all together. If you wanted to color some of the ones over here, that's fine too. I just like to keep mine all nice and neat together so that I can find that group of 10 when I'm ready to do that. So now it says 10 were red. Did I do that? Yes, we colored 10 red now. So let's see, the rest were blue. Well, these don't look blue. What's something I could do to make sure that I know that they're blue? That's right, I can color the rest of them blue. So let's go ahead and color the rest of them blue, because we know that all the rest of them were blue. And now, how are we going to find out how many are blue? That's right, we're going to count the blue flowers to see how many blue flowers we have, because that's the question. How many blue flowers did I pick? So let's count the flowers together. Can you count with me? Great. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 blue flowers. So I've answered my question now. How many blue flowers did I pick? We know we can count them, or now we can just look at where I wrote the number. We know that we have 4 blue flowers. But let's take this a step further. Let's see what else we can do with this. Let's see if we can find a group of 10. Yes, now you know why I put those flowers together like that. I told you I was going to find a group of 10. So let's find a group of 10. We know there are 10 red flowers, but again, let's count them again to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now to find a group of 10, I am going to take my pencil or marker or crayon, whatever you're using, and I'm going to draw one large circle around that group of 10. You see how I circled that 10? Now, my question to you is, how many groups of 10 do I have? I know there's 10 flowers, but how many groups do I have? How many circles of flowers did I make? You're exactly right. Y'all are so smart. I only have one group of 10. So I have 1, 10. Now, if this is a group of 10, how many leftover ones do I have? That's right, I have 4 ones. So, now we know that we had how many flowers altogether? 14. And now we know that we can break that 14 apart to one group of 10 and 4 leftover ones. So 1 10 and 4 ones is going to equal how many? That's right, 1 10 and 4 ones is going to be 14. Now, my challenge for you is this week, find another teen number, that's any number from 11 to 19. Find any number that's greater than 10 from 11 to 19. And I want you to see if you can model that using flowers or using a different picture, whatever you would like to do. You could use eggs, you could draw tigers or bears, whatever you would like to do. But I'd like to see you model that. And don't forget to send them in on the St. Tammany Parish Public Schools Facebook page and let us see your work. We would love to see it. So remember, today we found an unknown number using 10s and 1s by drawing a picture. And next time, I can't wait to see what we do the next time. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.